All right, welcome in to Vision Pros Live with Jackson Callum. I'm your show host. We will be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your show host, Jackson Callum, founder and CEO of First Class Business. And today is National Kingdom Day. This is a Christian episode, and I'm just kidding. It's not national. That should be every day for those of us who are believers. So those of you who are believers, or at least interested in hearing the principles of faith, then I highly recommend sticking around and seeing what Joseph A. Honeysett has to say about kingdompreneurs and what they're doing to crown his program to help make sure that entrepreneurs who are of the Christian faith can learn to work together in better fashion. And that's a debate worth having, one in which should be something that we can all do with a healthy sense of conflict. That means without contention. I think that's one of our greatest challenges in society is we tend to contend with each other, which Jesus said is not from his kingdom. So if we can do this in a way where we're understanding each other's needs, understanding each other's desires, supporting each other, then I love it, man. I'm excited for it. So I'll bring Joseph back in just a minute. Real quick, a couple of the resources that I highly recommend. One is Junaid Ahmed with Home Studio Mastery, who's also of Muslim descent, or that is his conversion faith of choice. I love Junaid. He's a great man. He does a lot of great things in this world. I 100% support him. He builds fancy podcast studios, amazing podcast studios. Here I am down in Tulcan, Ecuador, in my apartment. I'm not all about the fancy, but I do know the value of having recorded episodes in fancy studios. And I know the value that some brands kind of want to have that constant exposure to the wealth that ultimately emulates the success and aura that they have. I do know it's valuable to have the right mic. I do know that the lighting is super important too for anybody who's launching a podcast. And Junaid also helps you get started in these processes. He's a top 2% podcaster worldwide with hacks and hobbies. So check out what he's up to if you're in the space of building out podcast studios, and don't hesitate to lean on us for support as well. Then there's Dr. Danny Bursell. Dr. Danny Bursell is one of the best educators in the entire world. He's got over 300 video testimonials that are phenomenal. He's been all over the world helping parents inspire their children to learn to love to read. That is one of the most important things that we can have for our life. Most of us take that art for granted. If you are super, super intelligent, you're blessed financially, it's probably because you learned how to read well, even if you don't think you did. And Danny helps kids learn how to do just that. He's super awesome at it. If you have kids that are struggling with reading, lean into Danny. If you want to help his cause and help move the reading habit forward, then of course reach out to him and take a look at that. He has become one of my best friends over the last year. And then there's the Water Project. The Water Project is something that we support. We're not affiliated with, but as soon as I found out that there are millions of people on earth that don't even have access to the most basic resource that I've taken for granted my whole life, I started to ponder on that reality and what it would be like for my children to have to leave school to go find some unknown source of water, and who knows what could happen to them in the process. Or parents who have to leave work and make sure that they're just providing those basics for their kids. Breaks my heart, but reminds me that we can do something about that. Even if that just means talking to your friends and family about this over dinner, please do. The Water Project is very transparent about how they do things. I love that you get to see the project come to fruition that you actually invest in. You get to learn a little bit about what's going on with that, but the generational impact that you can have by providing resources for a sand dam or a borehole well, as they teach you about this process, it's life-changing, not just for you, but for the generations of people who get a benefit from it. We can change nations by pulling together and doing that. We've got 8 billion people in this world to help. So my hope is that you guys will join forces with me on doing everything that we can to do just that. Even if our acts feel or seem insignificant, they aren't. So without further ado, let me get back to serving each one of you with the visionary story of Joseph Honeysett. Joseph, welcome on to Vision Pros Live, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother. It's an honor.
Absolutely. And we'll dive in right to that secondary question. So Joseph, again, you've lived a life. I don't think you were born with crowned, as the concept, the LLC or whatever, or ANP or whatever it is. But where did your vision come from to launch this? When did you decide, like, I'm gonna lean into this?
Yeah, ultimately, just like everything comes from God. I know that's like very Christianese, and some may think that that's corny, but no, truly, I lived my whole life with a prophetic word, and it's funny. I thought that prophetic word that I was going to have was like I was going to be a Christian, but not implementing God in that, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until probably about 2.5, 3 years ago to where just I just started to hear the calling more and more and more. And really just a year ago was when I took that vision and I started to turn that into application and action, right? But I just got a word from God, and I've always been entrepreneurial. I've been a part of startups and some awesome endeavors.
Hmm.
But the vision for Crown, I just felt God continue to place His word on my heart to make it for Christians specifically,
Huge.
and not be on the fence. And so I just put action into that word, and God has opened doors, from that.
I love it. Let's bring you back soon, man. We didn't have as much time to dive in as either one of us I know wanted to. I got another episode coming up in 4 minutes. So, Vision Pros, those of you who are looking for a Christian-based community, definitely check out what Joseph and his business partner Joel are doing for that. If you want to come join us in the show and share your vision, top right corner, there's a button. I don't know which side's right with my reflection on this video, but it says "Be our guest." Come in and be our guest. You don't have to be the world's best visionary. You can be just starting out if that's where you're at. We want to inspire you to pursue actually bringing your vision to life. And we'll see all of you guys on the next episode of Vision Pros Live. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.